If you woke up this morning already tired, before the day has even begun, and you're wondering how much longer you can keep pretending that you're okay, please don't leave yet. Maybe nobody knows how exhausted you really are. Maybe you've been strong for everyone else for so long that you've forgotten what it feels like to be held. This morning, you don't have to hide any of that from Jesus. Jesus said, "Come to me, all you who are weary and burdened, and I will give you rest," Matthew 11:28. So wherever you are right now, bring him the tired heart nobody else sees, and let us pray. Jesus, I do not want to start this morning by pretending with you. I have done enough of that everywhere else. I have smiled when I did not feel like smiling, answered, "I'm okay," because the real answer felt too complicated, and kept moving because life did not give me a convenient place to stop. But here with you, I want to tell the truth. I am tired, not only physically tired, though some mornings even getting out of bed feels harder than it should. This tiredness is deeper. It feels like I went to sleep carrying yesterday and woke up still holding it. Before my feet touch the floor, my mind is already remembering what needs to be done, what is still unresolved, who may need something from me today, and all the things I tried not to think about last night. Sometimes I lie there for a few extra minutes because I am not ready to become the person everyone expects me to be again. Then I get up, wash my face, answer people, and somehow make myself look normal. I have become good at looking okay, Jesus. Maybe too good. I know how to smile at the right moment. I know how to laugh during a conversation, even when my mind is somewhere else. I know how to say, "I'm fine," and quickly ask about the other person so the attention moves away from me. Most people see that I am still functioning, so they probably think I am handling everything well. They do not see what happens when I finally get alone and no longer have to hold myself together for anyone. They do not hear how loud my thoughts become when the room gets quiet. They do not know how often I have wanted to cry, but could not even explain what the tears were for. Sometimes I am not hiding one big secret pain. I am simply carrying too many little things that have never had anywhere to go. That may be the hardest part to explain. If someone asked me what exactly is wrong, I would not know where to begin. It is not always one problem I can point to. It is the worry that never completely leaves. The disappointment I thought I had moved past. The conversation that still comes back to me at the wrong time. The responsibility I cannot put down. The fear of disappointing people who believe I am stronger than I feel. The uncertainty about things I cannot control. Each one seemed manageable when it came, so I told myself I could handle it. Then another thing came, and another, and I kept making room for all of it without noticing there was less and less room left inside me. Somewhere along the way, I started treating my exhaustion like a weakness. When I cannot focus, I become angry with myself. When I need rest, guilt follows me into the rest and ruins it. If one small thing makes me emotional, I ask myself why I cannot handle life better. I look at other people who seem calm and strong, and I wonder what is wrong with me. I never stop to ask what they might be carrying privately. I only use what I see on the outside as another reason to judge what is happening inside me. Jesus, I have been harder on myself than I realized. I thought criticism would keep me moving, but it has only made an already tired heart feel more alone. There are days when ordinary things feel strangely difficult. A message comes in and I want to answer, but I leave it for later because I cannot find the energy for another conversation. Then I feel guilty because I took too long. A small task sits in front of me, and somehow my mind makes it feel enormous. I try to rest, but my body is still while my thoughts continue running. I think about yesterday, tomorrow, what I should have said, what I still need to do, and things that may never happen. I can sit in a quiet room while feeling as though I have been running for hours. Then I tell myself I should be grateful, and I am grateful, Jesus. There is goodness in my life. There are things I do not want to take for granted. But sometimes I have used gratitude as a way to silence my pain. I tell myself other people have it worse, so I have no right to feel heavy. I push everything down and continue. But what I push down does not disappear. It waits for me. It comes back when I am trying to sleep, when I am driving alone, when a song reminds me of something, or when one small problem becomes the final weight on top of everything I was already carrying. That is why I came to you like this today. I do not have a beautiful prayer prepared. I am not going to force my voice to sound stronger than I feel. I believe in you, and I am tired. I love you, and I still have questions. I know you are near, yet there have been moments when I prayed and still felt alone afterward. I do not want to hide those things because I think faith requires me to sound better than I actually feel. You already know the truth. You saw every moment I said I was okay when I was not. You heard every prayer that never became words because I was too tired to know what to say. There have been times when I wanted everyone to stop needing something from me. I feel ashamed saying that because I love the people in my life. I want to help them. I want to listen. I want to be there when they are hurting. But sometimes another request, another problem, or another difficult conversation feels like more than I have left to give. Then I become quiet or irritated, and later I blame myself. You know what is underneath those moments. Sometimes it is not a lack of love. Sometimes it is simply a person who has been giving from an empty place for too long. I notice when someone is hurting. I hear the change in their voice and the silence behind the words they say. I can sense when something is wrong, and immediately I want to make room for them. I listen, I encourage, I try to help, and I tell myself I can handle one more thing. Then the conversation ends, they leave, and I realize I am sitting alone carrying their fear together with mine. I think about their problems while trying to solve my own. I worry about choices that are not mine to make and outcomes I cannot control. My heart becomes crowded, and then I wonder why I feel so exhausted. I do not regret loving people. I do not want tiredness to make me cold. But somewhere along the way, I started believing that being a good person meant always being available. I felt guilty when I could not answer immediately. I worried that saying no would disappoint someone. I gave long explanations when a simple, honest answer should have been enough. There were moments when I agreed to things while something inside me was already asking for rest. Then I became frustrated, not always with the person who asked, but with myself because I did not know how to admit that I had reached my limit. You have seen me sit with someone else's pain and try to be strong for them while my own heart was barely holding together. I gave encouragement I was struggling to believe for myself. I told someone not to lose hope while quietly wondering where mine had gone. I reminded them to rest, then stayed awake carrying everything I had heard. I can be so gentle with another person's difficult day, yet when I have one, I call myself weak. I can understand why someone else needs space, but when I need it, I feel selfish. Jesus, I do not know why kindness becomes so difficult when I am the person who needs it. Maybe I am afraid of what would happen if I stopped being the strong one. Maybe I have spent so long being the person who listens that I no longer know how to be the person who says, I need someone to listen to me today. I worry that my problems will become another burden for someone else. I do not want to be difficult. I do not want anyone to feel responsible for fixing me. So I keep the conversation focused on them. I make a joke to change the subject and say, don't worry about me. Then later I feel unseen, even though I was the one who made sure nobody could see me. There are things I wanted to say but did not. There were days when the honest answer was, I am not doing well today, but I swallowed it. There were moments when I had no advice left to give, yet I searched for the right words because I thought silence would disappoint someone. Sometimes I wanted to ask another person to be strong for a moment because I could not keep holding everything, but the words never came out. I nodded, listened, solved what I could, and pushed my own feelings farther down. I know people cannot read my mind, Lord. I know they may not realize I need help if I never let them see it. So teach me how to be honest without feeling ashamed of having needs. I do not want to wait until I am completely empty before admitting that I am tired. I do not want resentment growing inside me because I keep saying yes when I mean no. I have done things because I was afraid to disappoint someone and then secretly felt hurt that nobody noticed how difficult it was for me. That is not fair to them, and it is not healthy for me. Teach me a better way to love. I want my kindness to come from love, not fear. I want to care without disappearing inside another person's needs. I want to understand that being available every minute is not the same as being loving. Some burdens belong to me, and I need courage to face them. Other burdens belong to people I love, and I can walk beside them without pretending I have the power to rescue them from everything. I forget that difference so easily. Someone I love has a problem, and immediately my mind starts searching for a solution. I lie awake thinking about decisions another person has to make. I feel responsible for keeping everyone calm, preventing conflict, and making sure nothing goes wrong. I carry conversations long after they have ended. I imagine what might happen if I do not step in. Jesus, I am exhausted from trying to control things that were never placed in my hands. Show me what love looks like when it is not mixed with fear. I can listen without having every answer. I can care without carrying another person's entire future in my chest. I can pray for someone and trust that you can reach places in them that I cannot. I am not their savior. I know that sounds obvious when I say it here, but I have not always lived as though I believe it. Maybe part of my exhaustion comes from trying to stand in places where only you were meant to stand. There are also people I have spent too much energy trying to keep happy. I measure my words before I speak because I am afraid of their reaction. I make a decision and immediately wonder what they will think. I stay quiet when something hurts, then replay the conversation later wishing I had been honest. I have spent so much time managing the feelings in the room that sometimes I do not know what I feel until I am alone. Jesus, I do not want to blame anyone for the way I feel. I know I have made choices too. I said yes, I stayed silent. I told people I was fine. I kept showing up when I needed rest because I was afraid of what would happen if I stopped. I am not bringing this to you so I can point at everyone else. I am bringing it because I am finally beginning to see what has been happening inside me. I have been useful because usefulness made me feel safe. If I was helping, listening, solving, or carrying something for someone, then I did not have to look too closely at my own heart. Staying busy gave me somewhere to hide. Being needed gave me a reason not to ask what I needed. And now, when everything becomes quiet, I am not always sure who I am when I am not taking care of something. That is difficult to admit, Jesus. There is a tired part of me that wants to rest, and another part that is afraid of what I will feel if I finally stop. Maybe there is sadness underneath all this movement. Maybe there is anger I have never allowed myself to admit. Maybe there are disappointments I called small because I did not have time to deal with how deeply they hurt. I do not know yet. I only know that I have been running on empty for too long, and I cannot heal by becoming better at hiding it. So I am here, and I am not asking you to rush me. I do not need every hidden thing opened at once. I do not need to understand my whole heart this morning. I only want to stop running from it. Stay close while I learn to be honest. Teach me that I can rest without becoming useless, that I can have needs without becoming a burden, and that I can love people deeply without carrying what only you can carry. There are deeper places beneath this exhaustion, Jesus. Fears I covered with usefulness, pain I avoided by staying busy, and parts of my heart I kept closed because I was afraid of what would happen if I finally let myself feel them. I think I have spent enough time running. I am still afraid of what I might find in the quiet, but I do not want to go there alone. So stay with me now. I am ready to bring those places to you, even if I have to do it slowly. And maybe slowly is the only way I know how to do this, Jesus. I have spent so long pushing myself through everything that even healing can become another thing I try to rush. I want to wake up one morning and feel completely different. I want the heaviness gone, the thoughts quiet, the old pain finally unable to reach me. But I know my heart is not something I can repair by finding the right words or forcing myself to feel better. Some things have been buried for a long time. Some fears have become so familiar that I barely notice them anymore. So I am not asking you to hurry me through this. I am asking you to stay close while I finally stop hiding. The truth is, I am not always sure what is underneath this tiredness. I know there are things that hurt me, but I became so used to continuing that I never gave myself time to understand what they did to me. I said it's okay because I wanted the conversation to end. I said it doesn't matter because admitting that it mattered made me feel exposed. I told myself I was overthinking simply because enough time had passed. But time passing and a heart healing are not always the same thing. There are memories I rarely talk about that can still change the way I feel in a moment. There are words I thought I had forgotten that return when I am already tired and somehow still know exactly where to hurt. You know all of it. You know the things I never explained properly to anyone. You know the moment I felt rejected and acted like it did not bother me. You know the disappointment that changed something inside me. You know the times I gave another chance while quietly becoming afraid to trust again. You know how often I blamed myself for things that were never completely mine to carry. I have spent too much time trying to make sense of old moments, wondering what I should have done differently, what I should have noticed sooner, and whether I could have prevented the pain. I am tired of having conversations with the past, Jesus. Tired of thinking of the perfect answer long after the moment has gone. Tired of imagining different endings to stories that have already ended. None of that changes what happened. It only takes another hour from the life I have now. I do not want yesterday to keep receiving pieces of today. If there is something I need to learn, help me learn it. If there is something I need to grieve, let me grieve it honestly. But I do not want to spend the rest of my life standing emotionally inside moments I cannot change. There is anger in me too, and I do not like admitting that. Sometimes I have hidden it behind silence because I thought being angry meant I was failing you. I wanted to forgive quickly, move on quietly, and become the person who was not affected. But some things did affect me. Some words hurt, some people disappointed me. Some prayers seemed to disappear into silence when I desperately wanted an answer. I do not want bitterness living in me, but I also know now that pretending not to hurt is not the same as healing. So here is the truth. There are things I still do not understand. There are people I am still learning to forgive. There are moments when I wonder why something had to happen the way it did. I am not saying this because I want to walk away from you. I am saying it because I am tired of bringing you a cleaned-up version of my heart. If I am hurt, then this is where I want to bring the hurt. If I am confused, I want to stay here even before the confusion makes sense. I want my relationship with you to be real enough for the parts of me that do not have a beautiful explanation. And there are things I need to forgive myself for. Decisions I would make differently now. Moments when fear controlled me. Times when I stayed silent and times when I spoke from pain. I look back with what I know today and judge the person I was then for not knowing it. Help me be honest about my mistakes without living inside shame. I cannot go backward and become a different person in an old moment. I can apologize where I need to, learn what I need to learn, and allow you to change the person I am becoming now. I have punished myself long enough for some things. I thought keeping the memory painful would prove that I had learned my lesson. I thought forgiving myself might mean I was saying that what happened did not matter. But shame has not changed the past. It has only made me afraid of making another mistake. I want to carry wisdom forward, not chains. I want to remember what I learned without hearing a voice every day telling me that I will always be the worst thing I ever did. Maybe this is why I have been so tired. My body has been living in today, while my mind keeps traveling backward and forward. One moment, I am replaying something that happened years ago, and the next, I am imagining everything that could go wrong tomorrow. I am rarely where my feet actually are. No wonder I feel exhausted. I have been trying to survive days that are already over and days that have not even arrived. I cannot keep doing that to myself. I cannot protect myself from tomorrow by suffering through every possible version of it today. Worry has made promises it could never keep. It told me that if I thought long enough, I would be ready for anything. Instead, I became tired before anything even happened. It told me that staying alert would keep the people I love safe, but my fear has never controlled another person's future. It has only stolen sleep from me. So I am giving you what I cannot control, even though part of me is still afraid to let go. The people I love, the conversations I cannot force, the decisions that are not mine to make. The future I keep trying to visit before it arrives. The questions that do not have answers today. These things still matter deeply to me. That is why releasing them is difficult. But I cannot keep destroying my peace while pretending that worry is helping. Teach me what belongs in my hands and what does not. There are things I need to do. There may be a conversation I need to have, a boundary I need to keep, an apology I need to make, or a step I have been avoiding because I am afraid. Give me courage for those things. But after I have done what is mine, help me stop reaching for what only you can carry. I cannot make everyone understand me. I cannot control how every story ends. I cannot keep every person I love from pain. I cannot guarantee that I will never be disappointed again. That truth still frightens me a little, but there is another truth beside it. I was never asked to be God over my own life. I was never asked to know everything before taking the next step. I was never asked to hold every person together or keep the whole world from changing. I can simply be human here with you, tired and still loved, unsure and still held, needing rest without having to call myself a failure. Jesus, I need that truth to reach the part of me that is always waiting for something to go wrong. The part that feels guilty when I am not being useful. The part that wonders whether people would still love me if I stopped being the one who always helps, always listens, always says yes. I want to know who I am when I am not performing strength. I want to sit quietly without feeling that I must earn the right to rest by exhausting myself first. Maybe rest begins here. Not with every problem disappearing, but with realizing that I am not alone inside them. I kept waiting for life to become quiet while you were here in the middle of the noise. I thought I needed every answer before I could breathe. But I still have questions, and I am breathing now. I still have responsibilities, and I am here. Some things are unfinished, and you have not left. Stay with me in this moment. I have spent enough time rushing away from myself. If tears come, let them come. I do not need to apologize for them. If I feel nothing, I do not need to force myself into an emotional moment just to prove that this prayer means something. I am here with you for now. That is enough. I have been afraid that I am too tired to become hopeful again. Some mornings hope itself feels like another effort I do not have the energy to make, so I am not going to force it. Hold hope for me when mine feels weak. Remind me gently that the way I feel today is real, but it is not a prediction of the rest of my life. This tired season is part of my story, but it is not the whole story. Maybe healing will happen more quietly than I expect. Maybe one day I will realize I have gone an hour without carrying the thought that used to follow me everywhere. Maybe I will tell someone the truth instead of automatically saying I am fine. Maybe I will say no when I need to and not spend the whole evening feeling guilty. Maybe I will laugh and only later realize that, for those few minutes, I was completely there. I do not need to become the person I was before I became tired. Maybe I am learning something deeper than how to return to an old version of myself. I am learning that strength is not the same as silence. Love does not require me to disappear. Rest is not something I have to earn by reaching the point of collapse. I can be gentle without becoming weak. I can be honest without apologizing for every feeling. I can care deeply without trying to control everything. Restore me in the places nobody sees, Father. Not so I can return to pretending more successfully, but so I can live more honestly. Give rest to the part of my mind that is always preparing for disaster. Bring softness back to the places that became hard because they were trying to survive. Help me enjoy a peaceful moment without immediately searching for the next problem. Let me laugh without fear whispering that something bad must be coming. And when another difficult morning comes, because I know life will still have difficult mornings, help me remember what I am learning here. I do not have to solve my whole life before breakfast. I do not have to carry everyone I love before I have even taken care of the heart you gave me. I can take the day as it comes. I can ask for help. I can admit when something hurts. I can pause without believing everything will fall apart because I stopped moving for a moment. I may forget this sometimes. I may place something in your hands and reach for it again later. I may say I trust you and still feel afraid an hour later. When that happens, do not let me turn it into another reason to be disappointed in myself. Bring me back. I think I am finally understanding that healing may look less like never struggling again and more like knowing where to go when I do. Jesus, I came into this prayer tired of pretending I was okay. I do not need to leave pretending that everything is suddenly fixed. That would only be another kind of hiding. The truth is simpler. I am still tired, but I do not feel as alone in it. There are places in me that still hurt, but I am finally letting you near them. I have carried too much for too long, and I am learning that putting something down does not make me weak. I do not know exactly how long this healing will take. I do not know what tomorrow will feel like when I open my eyes. But I know I do not want to keep living against myself. I do not want to keep calling exhaustion strength, silence peace, or fear responsibility. I want a life that is honest. A life where I can love people without losing myself, work without believing my worth depends on how much I accomplish, and rest without feeling ashamed. So stay close, Jesus. Especially when I forget how tired I am and start carrying everything again. Catch me before I disappear behind, I'm fine. Remind me that I do not have to become useful before I am worthy of love. Remind me that the people I care about are still in your hands when I close my eyes at night. Remind me that tomorrow can wait until tomorrow. There is something I want to believe again, even if I can only say it quietly right now. I believe there is still life ahead of me that this exhaustion has not touched. I believe I will laugh again without forcing it. I believe peace can become familiar to me again. I believe there are mornings ahead when my first thought will not be fear. I do not know when those days will come, but I do not believe this tired version of my life is the only version I will ever know. Until then, give me enough strength for the day I am actually living. Not strength for every possible tomorrow. Just today. If today asks me to move, help me move. If today asks me to be honest, help me tell the truth. If today asks me to rest, help me rest without putting myself on trial for it. I have spent so much time being strong for everyone else. Right now, I am allowing myself to be held by you. That is all I have, Jesus. A tired heart that is finally telling the truth. A mind that still wanders into fear but wants to learn its way back to peace. A person who does not have everything figured out but no longer wants to carry life alone. Take care of the parts of me I have neglected. Heal what I kept hidden. Quiet what fear has kept loud. Teach me how to live without always preparing for disaster. And when I return to my ordinary life after this prayer, come with me into all of it. Into the kitchen, the car, the workday, the difficult conversation, and the quiet room at night. When old thoughts return, remind me that I do not have to follow every one of them. Thank you for listening to the truth I was afraid to say. Thank you for not asking me to become less tired before coming close. Thank you for meeting the person behind the smile, behind the short answers, behind all those times I said I was fine. I do not know exactly what tomorrow holds, but I know I do not have to carry it tonight. I do not know how every unfinished part of my life will turn out, but I know I do not have to solve all of it this morning. For now, I will take the next step with you. Not because I suddenly feel strong enough for everything. I don't. But maybe I was never supposed to be. Maybe I only need enough strength for the step in front of me, and enough trust to believe that when I reach the next one, you will still be there. So I am not going to call myself finished because I am tired. I am not going to call my life hopeless because this season has been hard. I am not going to keep pretending that I can carry everything alone. I am here, Jesus. Tired but still here. And you are here too. For this morning, that is enough. I place this tired heart in your hands. Please be gentle with it. Teach it how to rest again. Teach it how to hope again. And when I forget, bring me back to you. In the name of Jesus, I pray, amen.